Hey everyone, I'm Sandy Oliver. I'm going to be your instructor for Humanities 115 this summer, and I'm going to walk through our first day stuff. So if you haven't already printed out your syllabus or don't have it pulled up, in your device, go ahead and do that. So pause me, go do that, come back, and then we'll get started. Okay. Like I said, I'm Sandy Oliver. I'm going to be your instructor this summer term. Summer 2026. We are online all the time, and so you're going to see me in videos and that kind of thing, and then do the work. You can also pull up things on my YouTube channel if you want to look at other things that I've done as far as things for writing, summaries and that kind of stuff. They're up on my YouTube channel, so you can have all kinds of fun with that. I am not a professional videographer, obviously. I'm a teacher, and so sometimes you'll see me like this. I'm at home in my office, and you see the books and stuff behind me. Sometimes I am able to get a spot on campus and can do some things with the whiteboard, and you'll see those as the chapter exercises and stuff go along. So today we're going to walk through our syllabus and talk about the schedule and that kind of thing. And so normal first day stuff, except you have to listen to me the whole time. I can't ask you questions, that kind of stuff, but we'll deal. This is Humanities 115. We are an online only class. Our census date, is May 27th. That just means that you need to take the EVQ, the enrollment verification quiz, before the end of May 27th, and in order to stay in the class. Okay, so when you're done with this, you'll have all the information you need, pretty much. So go back in and do that. Our only way of communicating is through email. So you have my email on the syllabus and all over the place. So any questions, any issues, as far as the class goes, email me. If you have trouble with Blackboard, please see Jolt. They are the ones who can fix things like passwords and all that fun stuff. So I just use it. I don't run it. Okay, so this course is going to run from May 22nd. No, May 20th, to July 16th. We're going to be 9 weeks on the calendar. It's really 8 weeks as far as time goes, but I don't like to start my week in the middle of it, and so I just go by the calendar weeks. I think it makes it a little bit easier for us to deal with. This is a 3-credit class, which means in this compressed form, you're going to need to spend about 6 hours a week on watching the videos and doing the homework. Well, reading the book, that kind of stuff. And your last day to withdraw as a student is June 25th. We are in this together. I try my best to be accessible and professional and all of that. And I hope you'll do the same. It is kind of weird still to be just online and not ever get to see each other face to face or anything, but we manage, it's okay. I give you a lot of videos. You have a video for each chapter or each section of a chapter that I assign. Sometimes I break the videos into 2 parts because they're just really long, and I know my students won't watch something that's that long. Sorry. So I try to break it in half so you have a chance to go, oh, okay, watch this, go have a snack, come back, watch the other parts. Or snack while you're watching. I don't care. Like I said, this course is 100% online. All work is submitted online through Blackboard. If Blackboard burps, gives you problems, says you already submitted something, just send it to my email. Okay, you don't have to ask for permission for that. We'll talk about emails a little bit later, though, so stay tuned. Our coursework is going to be done through The Power of Critical Thinking, 8th edition. It's an e-text. It's already in our class. So all you have to do is sign into Blackboard, look on that left-hand side of our page, and you'll have e-text and resources, and that's where you click. And then it'll show you BibliU. Click on that, and then you'll have some books to choose from. Sometimes it only gives you the book for that class. Sometimes it gives you all the books you have in your life. But find The Power of Critical Thinking. It looks, sorry, thought I had this set up better. It looks like this. And the picture of it on our webpage there looks like that. So click on that, give it a heart. That way it'll always rise to the top when you get to our class. And it's all good. Now, when you click on it, it's going to give you the very first page, which isn't all that helpful. It's kind of an advertisement, really. But if you go up to the little hamburger menu at the top, little lines, and click on that, it's going to give you a click for the table of contents. And then you can just go down that and pick whatever chapter you need to go to or whatever. So it's a little weird, but it's kind of the normal weird. So that's nice. You're going to need access to a computer, of course. You're going to need to be writing some things down. Please don't skip that part, because really the biggest deal that I have with my students is that they don't remember things as well as they think they do. I'm old. So I know if I don't write things down, it ain't happening. So kind of adopt that particular mindset. Okay, so this course is critical thinking. In the context of human conflict, emphasis is placed on evaluating information, figuring out what's fake and what's not, that kind of stuff. Our grade details, and I'm just walking through the syllabus, so I'm on page 2. Your student learning outcomes are the legal stuff that has to happen in the class. I promise you it does all the way through. And if you need more information on that, I can do that. But most people don't really want to go through all that legal stuff. Our course has 100%, of course, as its base. Assignments, as far as papers, are 10% each. There are 3 of those. Exams, there are 4 of those, 10% each again. The reading logs, which are your notes and things on the chapter, whether you take it from my lectures or from the chapter or both, that's it. All gets rolled up together and it's 10%. I think there are 18 of them. The rest of the work we do includes chapter exercises, drafts of papers, other things we do to get ready for papers, discussion boards and such. That goes into what I call homework, and it's 20% of your grade. So note that while things look like points on Blackboard in what I give you, and they are kind of sort of, they're weighted by how much they count. Okay, so a rough draft of paper is 20%, it's 20 points, and it goes in that homework percentage. The final draft is 10% of your whole semester grade, so it's a little bit different. We also have that lovely column called Current Blackboard Grade. It is close. It's an estimate, really, and it doesn't keep track of anything that doesn't have a score in it. So it's a little more optimistic than we should be, especially if you're missing a couple of assignments. It's not going to count those for or against you. And so sometimes it looks like you're doing much better than you are, especially if you're missing some major assignments. So keep that in mind. If you're confused about what your grade really is, or you just need to know, send me an email and ask me to figure your grade, and I will do that and show you what the breakdown is currently and what your grade is right now. Until we get to the very end of the semester, though, it's going to be partial. Okay, so because our last 2 grades are 20%. It's because you have your 4th test and your last paper, and the final things are due that final week, which is kind of normal. So anyway, keep in mind that it's an estimate. It's close. Your final course grades, the official legal course grades, are A, B, C, D, F. And so those go into self-service, and because Blackboard is an estimate, sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So just ask if you have questions. I make every effort to grade everything that's posted like the next day. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes things take longer, like drafts of papers and exams take me a little longer to get through, right? Because they're not like a homework thing where you have a few things to answer and I look at those and say yes. Um, but sometimes I try really hard to, like, whatever you turn on Tuesday, you'll have a grade for on Wednesday. That's my plan. And I do my best to meet that. Our grades are 10% each. So anything from a 90.0 and up is an A. So 80.0 to 89.999 is a B. Okay, and it goes on like that. So make sure that you turn things in on time. I'll make sure that I'm grading things on time. We'll all be happy. Well, ish. The other thing is, I do give a lot of feedback. Some of it's just, hey, you did a great job, yay. Some of it is specific to that particular assignment. Hey, for questions like these, you need to do this. Or for these definitions, because they're big words, they need to be exactly like the book, and yours are not right now. So fix those. That kind of stuff. But anytime I give feedback, you'll have a little underline, and it'll tell you, that tells you that, oh, she said something about this. So click on that, and it'll give you exactly what I told you. So that's helpful. Please, please, please check your My Grades on a regular basis, whatever regular is to you. And then also check your email, because sometimes I send things in email because I'm not sure you're going to see the other. So anyway, your coursework load, it depends upon who you are and how you work. This is a regular class, so you have about 6 hours a week of prep and foundation and that kind of stuff to do, plus your homework. And I know summers are head down and running, so do your best to stay up with things. And we'll talk about late work in a little bit here. So most of the time, okay, you get stuff in Blackboard. I'll post an announcement on Saturdays that tells you what's due next week. This week, this first week of classes, you'll get a few announcements as we go along to try to get things rolling in a happy way, at least mostly happy way. And so you're going to see that list. I work really well from lists. I know most people, a lot of people, I wouldn't say most, a lot of people work well from lists. If that's not your preferred way of doing things, figure out how to make it work for you, as far as, here's what she's given me. Now I need to put it in my planner in a different way. Great, do that. Okay. I've tried different ways of doing things. This one seems easy to manipulate, so you can fix things the way you want them. Well, again, let's see. Oh, the next thing. AI. Personally, I don't like it. I want to know what's in your brain. I know that the computer can do whatever it wants to do. It has the background, it has all the stuff in there. But it only has what people tell it. And so it's not always accurate. But anyway, AI, like ChatGPT, can streamline lots of things. The only problem is, when you streamline your work, you also streamline your learning. And that's not a good thing. You need to figure out what works for you. Like I said, I have to write things down, and then do that. And this is a learning cycle, not a computer cycle. I like the fact that, yes, it can do good things for you to help you check things. We're not up to that yet. Okay. This is a foundational course. Most of your courses here at JCC are foundational courses, and you need to expand your brain. And AI doesn't allow for that. So I don't allow it for any assignment at all. Just forget about it. Turn it off. I know my computer is always asking me, hey, AI can help you with that. And I'm like, I'm good, thanks. So the other part of this is the ethics. You do not have permission from your classmates, from somebody online, from the textbook, to use that material in this way. Okay. So it constitutes academic dishonesty to use AI when you're told not to. Okay. So keep everything on the up and up. Do your work. I promise it will not kill you. I do take late work. Okay. We all have other things going on in our lives, and sometimes they're more important than school. But school can't always lose. Okay. You can't always put everything ahead of school because you've decided to take this class. You've committed to take this class. Most of you need this class to graduate. So make sure that you're giving it its due. Make sure that you're doing your work, and that you're prioritizing this ahead of, fun. Sorry. If your assignment is late, it loses 10% of its normal credit, and is not eligible for extra credit. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit here. If you know you're going to be late, like before it's due, send me an email, say, hey, Mrs. Oliver, I might need to turn this in late. Is that okay? Can I turn it in on Thursday instead of Tuesday, or Monday instead of Friday? Whatever works. Okay. But ask. That's the big deal. Okay. You're asking me to let you still have, 100%, but turn it in later. Okay. So ask, don't tell. The other thing is everything, whether you have an extension or not, can't go beyond a week late. Okay. So everything that's due Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week needs to be turned in at the very latest by next Friday. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'll remind you. I'll put notes up. It'll be fine. Let's see. If you have any kind of difficulty with the homework, with understanding the text, with anything, email me, let me know. I can point you in some directions. I can ask you some questions to think about. I can help you understand different things through email. Okay. In our 8-week classes, we have due dates nearly every day, Mondays through Fridays. I will have the assignments up at least a week in advance. Now, this beginning of the semester until you take the EVQ, enrollment verification quiz, you can't see anything. So get that out of the way, and then you can see probably, I think it's the first 2 weeks. Okay. After that, I try to I have things set to open at least a week before you need to do the work. So that should allow those of you who like to work ahead to be able to do so. You need basic word processing skills. Being able to save as a docx is a big deal. Blackboard is picky. It likes Microsoft Word, whatever. And it'll deal with PDFs. And for pictures, like if you handwrite your notes, like I handwrite everything, I don't necessarily think it's useful for you to have to retype everything or type things up from your notes. So if I can read your handwriting, that's a big if sometimes, but if I can read your handwriting, then take a picture, turn it in, you're good. But the JPEG is the best file type for that. A lot of things I can't open, things like Pages documents from a Chromebook. I can't open that. It just shows up as a blank. There's nothing there. And the other thing, let's see, what was I talking? Oh, if you're going to send me, well, I don't want to receive a Google Docs or SharePoint because those docs aren't finalized. Okay. You can edit and change and move and all that. No, you have to send me a complete document, either a docx or a PDF, to Blackboard or to my email. Okay. So about email, call me Mrs. Oliver. Okay. And also put your section number, and we have these new little extensions. So everybody's in Humanities 115. You might be in 1A1, 1A2, or 1A3. You can tell me, I'm in section 2. Great, I've got that. That's fine. It helps me find you in my gradebook and on Blackboard. And it also means that I don't have to sift through 75 other students to find you. Okay, so help me out there just a little bit. I respond to emails usually within 24 hours. Sometimes I have to do something before I can answer you. And so you might get very, very early on a thanks, I've got this. Give me a couple of minutes to figure it out. And then tomorrow you'll get the actual answer. So, but I make sure I give you as much as I can, as early as I can. The only day that's weird for you anyway is on Sundays. I try really hard not to be on screens or on, and do work and stuff on Sundays because that's my holy day. And so you might not hear from me on Sunday. Sometimes Sunday evenings I have time to respond a little bit, but usually it's Monday morning. What passes for morning for me. Make sure that you're asking questions if you need to, that you're giving me, information that you need. And I'm more than happy to get back to you as soon as I can on that. Especially this summer, it's a 9-week course and we're head down and running. And so I want to give you, feedback as soon as I can. Okay. Now we have attendance. So attendance in an online class, if you don't know, is based on your completing and turning in assignments. And so if you turn in an assignment on a certain day, you're present. Okay. We have deadlines pretty much every day of the week. I'm going to count things that don't get turned in by Friday as an absence. Okay. Unless you've asked for an extension, that's different. Okay. So make sure that you're, staying with things and asking for extensions when you need them. If you miss more than 6 days, and that's days in the class, I can drop you. I don't always drop you. A lot of it depends upon how in contact we are. So, God forbid, you got sick, or you got an accident, or your parents are messed up, they're sick, or your kids are sick, or the daycare's closed. All those wonderful things that bump us always in life. Keep me in the loop as much as you can. I know I'm not your first thought when something goes south, but when you come up for air, go, oh yeah, school. And send me an email. Hey, sorry I missed yesterday's stuff. This happened. I'm doing my best to get caught up by Friday. Great. Happy day. Okay. You'd be amazed what a little email can do to keep you in the class and going at your pace. Okay. If you run into trouble with any kind of the electronic version of this, like Blackboard and emails and all that fun stuff, talk to Jolt. Okay, put a ticket in, see what they can do for you. I am not a technician. I am not IT. My husband is, but I am not. I know how to use things, mostly. Someday I'll tell you about this video. But anyway, Jolt is your friend when it comes to anything having to do with our LMS, which is Blackboard, okay, and email. If you have a religious holiday or a solemn observance, make sure you send me an email at least 2 weeks in advance of that. If you have one coming up this summer, just shoot me an email today and say, hey, Mrs. Oliver, I need to be out on this day, so I won't count you absent. Okay. You still have to make up the work, but I won't count you absent. Okay. So keep that in mind. Then we have this lovely page about the helps that you can get through the library, the LRC. Academic Skills Center has tutors. They have the Jaguar writing portal. Basically, it's somebody to look over your paper before you turn it in. Now, I'm happy to do that for you, but I know sometimes you want somebody else to look at it first. Great. That's where you go. Okay. Also, the last thing on that page is it's titled Student Concern. So if I offend you, if I say something that you don't like, or if you think I've done something that's unfair, let me know first. That's all this is. Let me know first, and we can talk about how we can fix that. if indeed I did something incorrect, I did something wrong, all of that, I'm more than capable of saying, I'm so sorry, I did not mean to offend you, and how can I fix it? I hope you're the same way. If we don't resolve the issues, then we go to my boss, who is Elizabeth Baker. She's our department chair. Actually, I think she's a dean now. I think my little guy here is wrong. But anyway, Elizabeth Baker is who we go to. She takes care of English, humanities, and world languages. She has a bunch of us, but she's very good at her job, and so we would go to her. If the three of us can't come to a resolution, then we have to go farther, as my husband says, up the chain. And so we have Lisa Cooper, who is our AVP, our Associate Vice President for University Studies, and she is if she can't help us or she's not available, then we go to Dr. David, who is the Vice President of Curriculum. And so he's everybody's boss. There are two more things on that last page of text, anyway, that are links. They're the Control Enter kind of link. And so you can go in there and look at the college regulations and expectations. This has academic integrity stuff, grade appeals, all that other fun stuff. And then there's the college resources, things like JOLT and TRIO and the Academic Skills Center and the VA Center and that kind of stuff. So, okay, not too horrible. Our last two pages are the course schedule. Basically, week 1, what's due, when is it due? It's the same thing that you're going to get in Blackboard, but this is a more concise list. And if you like a list and you like to check things off when you're done, there's your list. Okay. And it goes all the way through to week 9, which is a big week because your 4th exam is there, and it's only over Unit 4. I don't give a final exam per se. We just don't have time for that. And when I teach this as a seated class, there is no way I can give you a test that you can do in an hour that would cover the whole book. So we just don't go there. So the last exam is due Tuesday, July 14th. The last paper is due Wednesday, the 15th. And then if you have late work from Unit 4, then it's due Thursday night. Our class ends Thursday night. Okay. So that's about all I have that way. So I want to tell you a couple of things. I've had students who have issues with using outside sources. Now, this is not to, say that I'm the best and greatest, but what I do for this class is specific to our class. And so if you go to YouTube and just click on, ask them, I need stuff on Venn diagrams, especially, you're going to get stuff that doesn't pertain to us. These are logic Venn diagrams, not math, not social studies, logic. And so they're a little bit different, how they're produced, what they look like. They're still 2 circles, but they're different. And so be careful when you're going out to look for things that you're actually looking for things that are going to be helpful instead of confusing. Same thing with the truth tables, with anything else we're doing in here, especially the big word definitions. They come directly from the book. Most of them are also in the glossary at the end of the book, so it's kind of easier to find them. But do not use a dictionary. Do not use, Google or whatever to find the definitions. They are specific to the course, and so they're specific to our book. And hope that kind of helps people. Oh, okay, we're going to stay right here. Again, if you need help, you need extra help in whatever, class, whatever chapter we're doing, ask. Okay. Even if it's late, ask. I'm more than happy to, kind of back up and try again. I hope that this term goes very smoothly. Summer tends to be kind of up and down because, summer, we have a different mindset about summer school. Summer school is not a punishment. Summer school for college is to help you get ahead, help you make up time. Say last semester you only finished 3 classes, and for financial aid you needed to finish 4. Well, you take one in the summer, and that takes care of that. There's a lot of things that go on with that, and we'll, work as we can. The other thing about summer is that your families are probably going to assume that you don't have much to do in the summer, and they are wrong. And if you can gently explain what's going on, then wonderful. If you can't, then you're going to have to be very diligent about your schedule and be willing to say no to things that sound really wonderful and fun, but you're not going to have time to do work that week. And that could be detrimental not only to your GPA and your course grade and all that kind of fun stuff, but also to your learning. And that's the most important part. What are you going to learn this summer? And so focus, focus, focus. Okay. Again, if you have questions, send me an email. I'm more than happy to answer things. And I hope we have a great semester together and are able to learn more things and be more critically aware, especially about fake news, because wow, there's a lot of it out there. So anyway, I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have questions. You know my email. You know how to find me. So anyway, bye.